Hey, BoomerangTKO here. Today I'm doing a tier list on the Filthy Frank clones. I think it's fair to say that I have looked into this area a fair bit, and I watch a lot of these guys quite a lot, regardless of how good or bad I think they are. I think they're all putting in a decent effort, so I thought, hey, I will rank them and let you guys know what I think of them. So the first channel we're going to go with is Neo Filthy Frank, I think. Neo Filthy Frank, I think most people would say is an obvious F tier. I would disagree slightly. I think his last video was a significant improvement on what he's done in the past. I think his humor's improved. I think his impression's still poor when you compare it to a lot of the other guys, but he's sticking to his guns. He's still going for it. I appreciate the hustle because he has got probably the most percentage hate out of all of these. Like, he just gets no kind words at all. So I appreciate that he's still going with it because he obviously just enjoys doing it. But I think ultimately, because of his last video, I'm going to bump him up to an E tier. I think I appreciate that he's still going with it. So, I mean, I'm going to watch him. So, I mean, fair play to him on that one. The next one we're going with is... Oh, well, let's just do George Miller, because George Miller's right there. I mean, George Miller, obviously S tier. We'll just put him in the S tier for now. I mean, obviously he's not a clone, but it goes without saying, none of these people would be here making these types of videos if it wasn't for George Miller, so I had to mention him. In fact, you know what? George Miller can be the S tier. There you go. We'll put him right there. George Miller's the S tier from now on. Okay, right. Next up, we're going to talk... Oh, actually, wait. There's someone hiding. Hey, look, there's Monkey Jones over here. Alright, so we got Monkey Jones, right? Not a clone at all. I just made this guy because I wanted to make this point. I had so many comments on my videos saying, where's Monkey Jones? How is Monkey Jones a clone? At most, he's like, he is significantly inspired by Filthy Frank, but he's not a clone. What the fuck are you talking about? Right? For that reason, he's going in the F tier, purely because he's not a clone. Great YouTuber. Great YouTuber, not a clone at all. Not even remotely a clone. I would say as well that the quality of these channels is important, but also how good they are as a clone is kind of taken into account as well. So the less of a clone that you are, the more down points you get for that. But that doesn't necessarily mean you're like a worse channel for that. So next up we have Poopa. And firstly, I appreciate this guy's hustle. I see him in like all the comments. I see him like doing his best to try and get a bit of exposure. I think his videos are like, they're pretty shit, but like in a good way. So what I mean by that is, I feel like it's like an aesthetic choice with him. With a lot of the other kind of low-level Filthy Frank clones, it feels like they're trying their best and it's just not quite coming off. But I feel with it, like with this guy, it's like so bad that he's like trying to make it look bad. And I mean, the impression itself is like no worse than any of the others. I just think like the video quality in and of itself, and I appreciate that. Like, you know, part of Filthy Frank's original humor was like, oh, this is shit, and that therefore it's funny. Not the videos themselves, just like something was hilarious because it was disgusting, because it was terrible. And I think he's caught that a bit. I don't even think it's like very good, but I think it's out of all like the really low level Filthy Frank clones, I think he's like probably the bar, honestly. I know it might sound kind of weird. I'm gonna put him in the D tier. I feel like for these like low level clones, this is like the bar. If you want to break into the big kind of clone channels, this is the guy you gotta be, in my opinion. And you gotta find your own angle, because at least with this guy, he's got his own angle, you know. And when I say low level, I just mean like they're less visible to the general community, and they're probably got a lower subscriber rate and lower viewership. Not that they're necessarily worse, although I think there is some form of correlation between the amount of views and subscribers they're getting and the quality. I mean, you can see that through my tier list as I go along. It'll probably have some correlation between those things. So next up we're going to go with, I think we're just going to go with an easy one next, one that I don't really have to explain, which is Kid Filthy Frank. Obviously wasn't really around for all of this. He just made some stupid videos a couple of years ago. Obvious F tier. It was horrible at the time, it's horrible now. I don't really want to bully a kid, but it was just kind of shit, so whatever. He's going to F tier. Next up, we're going to go with is it Joe Weird TV? Yeah, I've watched this guy a couple of times, and it's kind of cool because some of his videos are in a different language, so it's like nice for that language to have a fucking Filthy Frank clone, I guess. But I didn't really research what language it was, so I mean some of his well, no, the majority of his clone videos are in English, but he has a couple. But the last 2 videos he did weren't Filthy Frank clone videos, so for that, I'm bumping him down into E tier. I think if he'd been continuing, I would have maybe considered putting him in the D tier, but I'm bumping him down. Next up, we're going to do okay, let's do Real Papa Frankie. Okay, obviously, okay, I'm gonna talk about this quickly. The big 3, in my opinion, are Lotus, TV Filthy Frank 2, and Real Papa Frankie. These are like the 3 main clone channels, right? And everything is just up. Okay, Real Papa Frankie only has like 4K subs or something. Anyone who is a Filthy Frank clone connoisseur, anyone who has watched multiple of these channels knows this is the best one, really. Like, the humour is the best on this channel, the impression is like no worse than anyone else's, and the only reason, I think TV Filthy Frank 2 is more like the later stages of Filthy Frank's content in terms of the impression. This guy has more of a disaster music kind of vibe to him, right? Doesn't make him any worse in terms of his impression. I actually think in some ways it's better. In some ways it's worse, some ways it's better. But the humour is better, and the story is more creative. This guy is the best one. Just the best one. So, for that reason, I'm putting him up here. But I think after that, I should also kind of talk about TV Filthy Frank 2, because I've kind of gone off on a bit of one there, and it probably sounded like I didn't like him. But I do. I like him a lot. And I think he maybe doesn't deserve quite to be as big as he is, but I think he does deserve to have got some significant success of what he's done. I think, if anything else, he's just smashing everyone else in production quality. And yeah, that's partly because he's got a team behind him, but you know, he has to get that team behind him in the first place. I appreciate what he does, and I still think it's like, you know, I don't think it's as funny as Real Papa Frankie, but I think it's still like very funny, and I think, you know, I'm going to put him in the S tier as well. I think he's also very good. He's going up here. Not much more to be said. I think, you know, you just have to look at his subs and his likes and his views to understand that, yeah, and people coming back for more. You know, he's getting like hundreds and hundreds of thousands of views on his videos after Filthy Frank Reborn. So that just goes to show you that, you know, he has something about him, and I like it. So I'm putting him in the S tier. Next up we have Filthy Frank 2. It's this guy right here. This guy kind of like a bit like Neo Filthy Frank, but I think just a little bit better, honestly. I mean, his last video, I just mean the same as Neo Filthy Frank, as in he's been improving, and his last video is definitely his best one. And I kind of hope out of all of these kind of like lower level clones, he's the one that really sticks with it and goes with it. I think he's got something about him that I like. I mean, for now he's going in the D tier, but I think he has the most potential to like move upwards if he continues doing what he's doing. And continues to try and improve, because he's clearly doing something right. Next up, we're going to talk about Shaun Co-Productions. Now, I mentioned them in my original video, and I'm sure a lot of you were like, who the fuck is this? And I tried to explain it in my video afterwards. Now, this channel, this is a hard one for me, because I think Jack Benson is really funny. But Shaun Co-Productions is a lot of people, and Jack Benson isn't really even a clone. But this is like one of my favourite channels, just straight up. So, how much do I dock for not being a clone? Now, I've already put Monkey in the F tier, and he's a quality channel. Okay, I'm gonna premise this by saying, if this was about Jack Benson alone, this would be like A or B tier. But I think because it's Shaun Co-Productions as a whole, I have to put them in the C tier. Oh, I don't know. This is different. I'm gonna put them like here. I'm putting them over here for now. I'm going to decide at the end. Filthy Frank slideshow next. Now, this guy was actually alright, I would say. He's kind of in this boat with all the other low tier Franks, but maybe like a little bit more pushing up to the C tier, actually. Just like, it wasn't much special about him. I just thought he was like funny. That was it, really. He's just funny sometimes. But unfortunately, he's died. He hasn't died. His channel has he stopped uploading to his channel, right? So for that reason, we're gonna put him in the F tier, just because he doesn't do videos anymore. He's gone. Fucking F in the chat for Filthy Frank's slideshow, because we hardly even knew you. But one channel that nobody really knows about who is good is Dirty David. This channel is reasonable. This is one of the, no, this is probably the best unknown Filthy Frank clone, and I'm gonna put him up here. And I know what I said about Poopa earlier, but this guy's like excelling, just straight up excelling. You know, it's not amazing, but it is like pretty funny. Pretty funny. So he's gonna go in the C tier for that. So I think after considering that, I'm after putting Dirty David in C. I think I probably have to put Shaun Co-Productions in B. I just think that's how it works, right? I'll put him there. So last up we got Lotus, right? I have a lot to say about Lotus, and people are probably gonna be a bit kind of like, what the fuck are you on about? Firstly, I like Lotus. I like Lotus' stuff. I think it's, as I've said before, I think it's probably the most creative out of all of them because she's only really using the universe and not being a proper copy. That in itself makes her lose points for this tier list, but I don't think that makes her lose points as a YouTuber. I think that actually gains her points as a YouTuber. She got a lot of hate for one particular video, and I'm just going to say that there were reasons that I didn't like it, and there were reasons that I did like it. Lotus as a clone. Let's just think about Lotus as a clone. Okay, not a clone, but uses the Filthy Frank universe heavily, right? So for that reason, I'm not going to dock her too many points for not being a clone, because I think compared to all the other channels that are not clone, she's like the closest. So we won't dock her too much, but we'll dock a little bit. But I enjoy her stuff. I think she's very creative. So for that reason, I'm going to put her in the A tier. Pretty good. I like her, but I know she's not everyone's cup of tea. I think that the other thing as well is like, it has a lot of weeb stuff going on in it, and I'm not really like into anime, but I think I'm so much not into it that it just doesn't bother me at all. Like, I don't care either way. It doesn't really like hit me in the face as cringe when I see it, which I think a lot of people see the anime shit and they're like, oh my god, what is this? Horrible. But then I think that just means it's not really for you. I think it's for people who find that stuff entertaining. And there clearly is an audience for it, because she's got the second biggest following out of all of these guys, so. And last up we have the fake Frank. Obviously a clone within the original series. I mean, not necessarily a clone, but someone trying to pretend to be the original Filthy Frank, so for that reason, it's George Miller's clone. So George Miller's clone can definitely go in the S tier, for obvious reasons. So yeah, that's it. That is the tier list. If you disagree, let me know in the comments. Let me know where you'd put other people. If you enjoyed this video, remember to subscribe and hit the bell. So I'll see you guys next time.